just take us through kind of how this all came together in finding a role here, how it's felt so far, and obviously we know about connections between Cheryl and Mike, but just how it kind of came together and how it's going so far.
Yeah, it's felt, I would say, very natural through the whole thing. My time came to an end in D.C., and timing, I don't remember the exact time with Katie, but I got a call from Cheryl, and honestly didn't take a lot of consideration to say yes and get on board. And kind of as soon as I started, I saw most of you for the press conference, and as soon as we did that, it was just kind of a matter of getting on the road, seeing college players, prepping for free agency, getting to know our own players, and getting some time with them. A little bit of time here, and then some time in places like Unrivaled and Miami and stuff like that. Before you know it, you're through free agency, it's draft time, and then it's camp. So it's I feel like our off season is much busier than it used to be, and it's nice when we get to this point, and we can actually be on the court and do basketball.
Hey, Coach, I know it's only been 3 practices worth of training camp, but just how great has it been to bring Carly Samuelson over here and work with her, and just how excited are you to have her on the roster again?
She's such an easy fit, and I think that's a well-earned experience on her part, from hardship contracts and 7 days and different teams overseas, that she knows how to get acclimated with a team quickly. I saw her do it again last year in D.C. with her first year there. She's easy to coach, and I think the vets that have been here find it very straightforward playing with her already. So yeah, her and I have had a good relationship going back to recruiting her to DC last year, and now it's just a matter of trying to help her get better on a team that has high expectations.
Just to follow up on that, it seems like her career path and Alana's were very similar in terms of kind of finding their footing, but once they got the opportunity, they've kind of made the most of it. What did you see, in her that you thought she could become the player that she kind of turned out to be last year?
That's interesting. They have, college teammates have similar journeys. I think we were just playing them the year before when she was in LA. I think at one point I just turned to the bench, I'm like, she's just a good player. Like, forget whatever the contract status was or what their team was going through at the time. She was just a good basketball player. You had to guard her. She made shots. She knew where to be. She makes very few negative plays. And I think her defense surprises people might be too strong, because just very kind of in a quiet way, just she's where she's supposed to be. She can take tough matchups. And so, we kind of made her a priority a year ago, because I think sometimes how, a player gets cut, they get waived, they bounce around. You can very easily put them in a box or a category and not see what they could be in the right situation, or maybe with a little bit of trust or a different type of role.
Coach, obviously you've coached in the Target Center before, but is there a certain type of excitement to be on the Lynx side of the bench at the Target Center, knowing how the fans are?
For sure. I've always enjoyed coming here. I don't know that our record reflected that as a road team, but always enjoyed coming here. It's always a good atmosphere. You always so long as Cheryl's been here, you always knew you were in for a tough one. So when you did win here, you felt like you had really earned it. Culture of the team, I think, has always stuck out. You can feel it when you play against them. And, be a different vantage point down from the other end of the floor, but that'll be good and fun and new too.
Eric, specifically, what position group are you going to be working with this year, and what are you going to try to – are there particular things with particular players that you're going to try to work on with?
Yeah, we haven't kind of finalized dividing it all up. You have so many more people for camp. So I wouldn't say we've whittled it down to the final assignments. I'm hoping I get some touch points with everybody. I know some of the wings will probably, get more time with me, but no, I don't have a final answer on that one yet. Sometimes you want to let some of it be a little natural, and I know Cheryl will have some idea of certain pairings she'd like to see. So maybe I'll have a better answer for you on that one in a few weeks.
I was going to kind of piggyback off that. Just how is it going to be being with Fee and Kayla and them instead of going against them, and what are you actually trying to be able to be with them and learn about them as far as the training camp as well, gaining that chemistry?
It'll be great going with them. Obviously, anybody who's watched them play, that's a simple answer. And then watching them through this offseason and how well they played gets you excited, obviously. they're right. I think we have a core group of players that are right in the perfect place in a lot of their careers, that all they care about is winning and team success, and that makes people very easy to coach. You know, I'm just trying to do what I can each day to give them a little something here, a little something there, maybe a little, you know, pick me up when it's needed, which they're a very resilient group. They don't need it a lot, but having a sense for when they need that. You know, and being one of the new ones to the group, I'm trying to follow their lead to an extent. They've set a tone and a culture here that was very attractive to be a part of, and now I just want to make sure we're all pulling in the same direction.
Relating to that a little bit, obviously you've only been really on the court together for a couple of days, but how's that ongoing process, especially in your experience where you've held different roles, you've been the head coach, you've been on staffs, also working with assistants who have a long history with Cheryl too, and you know those connections that go back, and trying to find that right role and how that progress is?
Yeah, I would say what's true for me is probably true for the group as a whole. Like, even when you have good chemistry, obviously like the team did, or I think already on staff with Cheryl and Lindsay and BB and the rest of the staff, when you get good people, you're going to figure it out. And you're going to, you know, hey, I'm going to run this drill, I'm going to run this drill. But then you get your rhythm together. You know, I might have a drill at one end and BB's at my hoop, but she's jumping in and she's going to make changes where she sees fit, or vice versa. You know, you bring back a lot of the same players, the chemistry should be off to a head start, but you got to go through the process again of training camp and working in new faces and stuff like that. So I think when you have a group that's open-minded and smart and you have good people, you figure it out pretty naturally as you go.
Coach, you obviously weren't here last year, but you have been part of a group that won a WNBA finals after losing in the finals the previous season. What about that task is just so difficult, and what is the key to ensuring that almost getting there the year before is used as fuel in a healthy way?
You probably said it right there. Fuel in a healthy way of, you know, it can be the you know, keep that fire lit all the way through, but you want to have the experience that you had the previous year of going on the journey together again. You know, you're not starting from zero, obviously. So it's having that fire that burns, and when you need that little hit of energy or adrenaline, you can go back to that place. But you want to create something special with the group that's here this year, because this year's not going to be exactly like a year ago. What I remember about that was coming in that feeling the next year of people put their egos to the side and nothing else mattered except trying to win. Made practices super competitive. It let unimportant stuff stay unimportant. And, you know, it's such a common purpose to rally around, but you want to have fun along the way too, because I think that's been important to this group and, you know, most great teams.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you all. See you again.